Hey everybody, it's Liz. I want to talk about some Akashic Record BS. Um, the title perhaps was a little bit clickbaity, but I just want to really debunk the mystique of the Akashic Records. I know in my history, like many of you out there, I've done a lot of study in various metaphysical topics, and I've done pretty much everything from mediumship, shamanic practice, healing, Reiki, the whole bit, voiceover, ghost boxes, all of it, paranormal, cryptids. I love all of it. I love studying all of it, near-death experiences, all the non-physical parts of us and experiences that we have, whether they may be true or perceived as true or not. I don't know. But I never actually studied Akashic Record stuff. So about 3 years ago, I thought, well, what is that? And do you really need special people to access the Akashic Records for you? Right? So what is the Akashic Records? Well, first of all, it's BS. It's the same thing that everybody else does, just to sit in the quiet and ask and receive an answer with your intention. It's that simple. That's the bluff. The bottom line up front is that it's bullshit easy. It's not some mysterious thing. But the Akashic, or the Akash in Sanskrit, refers to sky, or a sky god, or a sky being or entity, or a radiant light or a radiant being. And in common parlance has become to known as sort of the divine or a soul records. All right. So the idea is you can access every moment of your life and past or perhaps parallel lives, if you chose to have them. So I want to just, it's not a mystique. It's not anything special. If you've done any of my processes or your own, you're already doing it. You just didn't call it that. It's so similar to Bob Monroe's gateway system. It's similar to Jose Silva's system, the expanded awareness video that I did, um, all kinds of meditation videos that are out there, and guided visualization stuff that's out there. What else do I have? Oh, shamanic vision quests and soul journeys. Even the Huna and the Kero shaman talk about going up to the top of a tree and meeting celestial beings and asking them questions. It's in mediumship training and psychic training that I've had in the past. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So call it Akashic Records, Call to Soul, Retrieval, Journey, Vision, Quest, Gateway System, Jose Silva, Meditation, whatever, you want to call it, a little bit of remote viewing. It's a lot of overlap. Like, a lot of this shit's the same. Okay. Call it different things, but it's all the same. A lot of it's very similar. Maybe a little overlap. If you're doing remote sensing or viewing, you might lean a little this way. Talking to the dead or your dead pets and stuff, a little bit over this way. The process is so similar in how you get yourself emotionally, mentally ready, and get your ego or your frontal lobe out of the way, your conscious thinking out of the way, and you ask with an intention for some guidance, and you get it. So let's talk about that. So given that there's a lot of ways to do it, but we're going to do the Akashic Record system today. So there's a lot of ways to access the Akashic Records, or whatever the heck you want to call it. The first way is any way you damn well please. If you're already sitting and asking in meditation for, like, asking, what do I need to know right now? Or how do I pay that $400 bill that I just got? My car's not working. How do I get him or her back? I'm having a problem with my child. My puppy's sick. Any question that you have, or what's next for me, or what's my life soul purpose? If you're already doing that kind of stuff, you're already doing it. So do it any way you damn well please. That's number one. Number two, you can use a guided visualization if you want to take the time to get all comfy with a guided meditation. Pura Rasa does some really good meditations, and I'll link a video to the Akashic Record guided visualization below. I liked that one. The other way, there's a lot of ways to do it in your mental screen. And basically, all the techniques are basically transport devices to point your intention to the information you want. It's just other people call it a permission slip, but the method that you're using to set your intention, so it doesn't matter. So some will get a beautiful place in nature that they set up for themselves, and they go there, and advanced beings come to them, uh, or you get information there for some guide or an animal, power animal comes up and talks to you, or you just get some insight. You can do a room. I often recommend people sitting in a room, like a living room type of thing, or some sort of official room with a desk and a chair and an elevator where a being comes in and talks to you. That's a Jose Silva method. Uh, you can imagine going up a tree. That's what the shamans and the Huna and the Kero taught me, is to go up in a tree and imagine going up to, you can say, the fifth dimension. Some take an elevator up to the fifth dimension, and you go up the tree or the elevator, same thing. It's just whatever you choose. And you get up there and you go out on the fifth floor, or the celestial floor of the ancients and the celestial beings that are there for your future, your guides. I'm looking up because I'm imagining being up there on the top of the tree. And then you go meet beings if you want, and you talk to them. Now, there is a process. I'm going to talk about the important elements, I think, for whatever you choose, which is also in my expanded awareness video, which I'll put in the box below. Okay. So you can do it any way you want. Sometimes you don't need to see advanced beings. Sometimes I'll see words in the screen. There's a lot of ways to get the information. If you're specifically doing Akashic Record style visualization for information about your life, about your patterns, about some inner work you want to do, some shadow work, some inner child work, again, a lot of the same stuff, different words for the same thing. Some people imagine going to open a book on a table in a library, or pulling a book off a shelf and opening it up, and that's your life book. By the way, your Akashic Records is in your luminous field, your aura, your biofield. It's right here. That's why you're the boss of your life and you're boss of your energy. You can do this any way you want. That's why I'm like, I got to do a video on this Akashic Record. That's some bullshit. Like, it's so many ways to do this. I'm not really bashing that. It's just, there's perhaps nuances, but it's freaking all the same thing. So anyway, it's all right here. It's yours. You can access it any way you please. Some like to go to a modern type of computer screen and sit down at a carrel in the library or something like that and open up a computer screen, and that's the page of the information that has your life. Now, when you access these records, or whatever you want to call it, what does it look like? Well, lots of different ways. One way it can look is you see the words in the book or on the screen. Some don't always see that. Some see like a foreign language or some gobbledygook. And sometimes they see it in black, sometimes they see it in red, whatever. You may not get the information right then, but it would be dropped into you later. It's kind of like doing plant medicine, and you see the colors in your pineal gland. I think they're kind of like downloads that you process later, but that's a topic for another day. Plant medicine is great. Sometimes I see words on the screen, like I said. Sometimes a being or an animal comes and talks to me. Sometimes an idea drops in, some insight or some inspiration. And like I said, sometimes I don't get anything right there, but sometimes it comes down to me and downloads, if you will, that night over the next couple of days as some sort of inspired action or thought. And it's a good idea to do that if it resonates with you, right? Don't leave it forever. Like I have sometimes book ideas drop in and I write down the book idea and say, don't give it to anybody else. I'm going to get to it. So what else? Like you said, sometimes the ideas come later. Sometimes you see words on the screen. Sometimes you hear them. Sometimes an idea drops in and you think it's yours, but it might be coming from that's another topic, which is what is channeling. You can chat. You're probably doing a little bit of channeling when you do this kind of process and you get information. You're channeling your higher self, guess what? Or the Holy Spirit, or your connection to God, your super conscious mind, source, God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it, and as high as you want to go. So maybe your soul plane is not as high as source, but you can get access to all these dimensions or planes of reality if you want to. Now, some elements that I think that Liz thinks are important to have in whatever process is for your protection and to make sure you're kind of going to the right place. So number one is I think it's good to do some energy work or some grounding or protection work. And I have a video about that too. Whether you put yourself in a golden ball of light, most simply put, or a white ball of light, and envision that nothing's coming at you except appropriate loving in and out of your luminous field. You can run energy down to the ground. You can run it to the ground. So whatever it is, but some protection, some protective energy work is important. And then also setting an intention for what you're interested in finding out. Maybe you just want to find out what's next or what your soul purpose is, or you have a specific question about that bill or your puppy dog. I think that's important. And then doing some sort of invocation where you ask to speak to, like I think Bob Monroe from the Gateway System might say something like, beings higher and wiser than I, or at least at my level or higher. So there's no lower astral entities bugging you. I think most of them have gone away. I grok that they're gone, most of them, but there might be little ankle biters left, but you want to make sure you're talking to higher beings for sure. What else is there? I think it's good to set a small intention to drop the frontal lobe or the ego so that you're ready to hear what needs to be heard, not what you think you should be hearing. And then some sort of idea of getting to a high vibe emotional place of being very appreciative about something or thinking about something that you love very much. And this puts you in the right vibe place to reach up higher. Because if you're talking to beings, by the way, they have to connect down to your vibration. They have to step it down, and you need to step it up, perhaps, to meet them. And again, you don't have to talk to beings if that freaks you out right now, but the information will be coming from somewhere. Source, angels, your guide, power animals, who knows, right? I don't mind whom or what I talk to, especially as my own higher soul, right? So I think those are important elements to have. And then I like to imagine expanding to the edge of the universe, the multiverse, and basically expending my energy to seeing all of it and being aware of all of it. So I expand my field to the edge of the multiverse so I can get all and any information that I need. And at the end of the day, this is all kind of a prayer, isn't it? It's all kind of an invocation, and it's all about your intention, what you're intending to do. So you can do it any way you like. I believe protection is important, setting an intention is important, and go where you will. And I'll leave you with that. But let me know in the comments what you think about the Akashic Records. I just had to come on and like change this, our generally scheduled programming to talk about the Akashic Record mystique and kind of debunking it. A lot of it's all the same, folks. Take care. Bye.